So, this question of which denomination of Christianity got it right. The it that this question refers to is Jesus. Jesus, the historical figure, who he was then and who he is on his return. Because it is Jesus that all denominations of Christianity have in common. As one who has little interest in religion, I am clearly no expert on the differences between the many and varied denominations of Christianity. I am an expert on Jesus, however, because I was him. I was him, and here I am, returned. This is my voice. These are my words. I have been told by a Christian that I am heretical for saying this, because I am only a human man. And the last thing that Jesus is seen as having been is only a human man. This is kind of unfortunate for the many and varied denominations of Christianity, because I was only a human man back then, and I am only a human man today. This, of course, begs the question, how on earth should I be expected to be taken seriously? What possible proofs can I present when pretty much everything that is believed about Jesus is the very kind of lie that he was specifically crucified for disputing? Well, I have my proofs. I am not like any other human man you have ever known or heard of, and yet still I am only a human man, and it is good, very good, that I am only a human man. If your religion, your denomination, forbids you from recognizing me as that man, it is because your religion was specifically designed to keep you from recognizing me on my return. Above all other things, it is the specific function of the Christian religion and its many and varied denominations to make it impossible for people to recognize me as the archetype they are so familiar with, because that archetype is an entirely false representation of who I was back then and who I still am today on my return. It is the scandal of all scandals. What I do here today is the very same thing I did when I was here that other time, which is to speak simple truths that got me tortured to death in public back then, and which have caused me and my work to be suppressed here in this lifetime. The simple truths I share in my work are truths that a child can understand, and yet they are truths that definitively break all human culture, both scientific and spiritual. The truths I share are truths that are existentially incapable of not being true. They are the cause and source of all things, self-evidently so. Neither God nor the Big Bang could conceivably be possible without them. And so I was tortured to death back then, and am suppressed right now. The simplest truths that make the more complex truths possible at all are, as the simplest truths could only be, simple and humble, yet absolutely powerful, because they are the truths that must always and forever be true in all places, at all times, at all scales, without end, while the more complex truths are only sometimes in effect, and therefore only sometimes useful to know. Knowing what is simple and always true, always in effect, no exceptions, is vastly more useful, important, and powerful than knowing what is complex and only very occasionally useful. A child can learn these truths, and a child that does understand them clearly and cleanly will be a far more powerful force of self-determination in this world than any adult that does not understand them clearly and cleanly. In fact, the simplest, clearest, and cleanest thing for anybody to know and understand is that there are the simplest of existential truths that just can never not be true in any way, at any time, in any location ever. And these truths are very much knowable and understandable to us all because they are true and in effect in every aspect of every moment we ever experience. We are more than well familiar with these truths that never ever go away. These truths that can never be escaped in any shape or form whatsoever. These are my proofs. These are my credentials. I bring the truths that a child can understand and which break all human culture, while explaining how and why it should be that these truths make it inescapable for us that we are the eternal. I bring the truths that always had to be true all along, because they forever are, unceasingly and seamlessly true. They do not need to be proved, because it is impossible that they could ever be disproved, because they are true and existentially incapable of ever not being true under any circumstance whatsoever. Do you think that the simple human man that brings these truths could be recognized?